Thank you so much. And all the participants, good morning to all of you. And I will today this 1 hour session, 1 hour 10-minute session. I will tell about the e-content tools, as well as that what are the software, and some software I will a bit try to demonstrate you, right, 1 or 2 software, so that you can get the essence of it, that how the tools can be used for the e-content development. Okay. Let me start. I suppose my screen is visible. So first of all, if I say that what do you mean by e-content? E-content is defined as the digital content. All of you must be knowing about the e-content in years back, right? What do you mean by e-content? When we had to see the content digitally in a laptop, or in through CD, or in desktop. From that time onwards, the term is coming as your e-content. Now the researchers are going on that how to improve that e-content quality, right? How to improve that e-content quality depending on the development of the software or the software application. So for example, first of all, when we started creating this e-content, we used to use only the HTML file, right? That was a very simple HTML content you have to write, and simple in the Internet Explorer only you can just post it. You can just host that in your website and all as a website, and therefore that was known as your e-content. And afterwards they have told that okay, fine, the word document, if we convert it into the PDF format and we host it in a website, that is also my e-content, that is also acceptable. Finally, what they have told, that whenever we develop some PPT, and if you convert it into the PDF, that is also your e-content. And after the, and again into the development, when they have gone further, they have told that without that HTML we can use the another software, that is your dynamic HTML. What do we say as your DHTML, right? So if you use the DHTML, then you can create your e-content more interactively. More interactively means that whenever we have to create with HTML, no, so that will be, that is a static statements, and for example, image you have introduced like this. But if you use the DHTML, when what is the nowadays the people are carrying out with, for creating this e-content, they are using the DHTML. So using this DHTML, you can create the more interactive e-content. That means you can create the quizzes, you can insert the video. Within the video only, you can just stop it, you can put the question. For example, if the in the receiver side, if the teacher is sitting online, then immediately he or she can give the answer. So such type of interactive e-content has been created, can be created with the help of the DHTML. Now nowadays, that MOOCs have been launched, are launched in SWAYAM web portal. You all must be knowing about the MOOCs, that is a massive online open courses. Massive open online courses. So this MOOCs, whenever they have launched this MOOCs courses in SWAYAM portal, they have told that videos is okay, then you can put the e-content into it. And this e-content may be created with the help of this DHTML, may be created in the form of PDF, may be created in the form of PPT, may be created in the form of simulation, may be created in the form of some demonstration. So everything now is known as your e-content. So videos we have kept separate, that is your video, and in e-content, everything digital content, everything comes into the picture. That is your PDF format, that is your text format, that is your demonstration, any demonstration file, any simulation file, any DHTML file, any interactive content, everything it will come under the e-content. So e-content is defined as any digital content prepared in pedagogical framework, right? This is most important. Pedagogical framework. That means simple. If you write something into the Word document, if you convert it into PDF, people may say it is an e-content, but it is not. Because in case of e-content, every framework should be there. I will tell you, some standard will follow, right? SCORM standard it is there, IEEE standard is there. That means in e-content, you have to give the introduction, you have to give the background, you have to give the, something self-assessment question. You have to introduce some explanation of your, material, whatever you want to do. You can give some, that quiz questions also in case of e-content. Everything will be, the chart you can give. So all these things will be included in the e-content. So that is actually pedagogical framework. That means how to introduce this pedagogical thought into your content, right? Consisting of text, images, graphics, animation, video, chart, and many more. Now, what is saying that difference between the e-learning and the learning through e-content and the learning through classroom teaching. Now, if I say the classroom teaching, you can just see that one way learning it is there when the teacher is teaching and the students are listening, right? In between, students cannot stop the teacher. That you stop. I will ask the question, then you resume your teaching. That is not possible, right? Sometimes teacher may ask question or student may ask question, but at his own pace, he cannot stop or he cannot go. Teacher will go in his or her pace, right? But students have to just follow the teacher. It cannot be like the teacher should follow the student, right? Because there will be a number of students in the classroom. Teacher just cannot follow the each and every student pace or something, right? So that becomes one-way learning. Teacher is teaching and the students are listening, and students have to go with the pace of the teacher. But when we say as you're learning through the e-content, then we can say that in e-learning the student can pause at any time, do some assignment, and again resume some learning, right? They will just learn in a video format that whenever they want, they will again and again it can be repeated, it can be the video can be rerun, and then they can just clarify their doubts. He or she may interact with the teacher through discussion forums as well as through blogs. Now, another term you must be knowing about the blended learning, right? Blended learning is a combination of both. That means classroom teaching also cannot be eliminated, as well as you have to give the digital content also, which is more emphasis, which gives more emphasis, which is on-demand learning and which is very interactive, right? So both these learning can be, combined, and it is known as your blended learning. Whatever you must have learned about this. This is just an introduction before starting the tools for e-content. Now the standards of e-content, as I have told that whenever you create the e-content, this is not just like that you have to just write the theoretical, statements and then it will be the e-content. No, you have to have some, standard on it. There is a SCORM standard, there will be IEEE standard that is known as your IMS standard, and Instructional Management System Global Learning Consortium standard. So those are the standards generally we follow. Mainly we follow the SCORM standard, Shareable Content Object Reference standard, right? So these are the main standard. There is a vast, that is your content in this standards. I will not go in details because I will concentrate on the tools of e-content, that what are the different tools. While creating e-content, there must be 3 types of presentation. One is your text dominance, another is your speaker dominance, third one is your animation dominance. Text dominance is saying that whenever text is dominant, right, and your picture or any graphics, it will be the secondary, right? Text will be dominating. speaker dominance in the sense whenever the picture of the or the image of the speaker is dominant. Matlab you have to show the speaker in the dominance in your just area. And animation dominance whenever the animation is dominating and the text and the speaker are secondary. Now, if I say that tools for e-content development, it can be divided into three categories. One is your freeware, another is your open sourceware, third one is your proprietary software, right? So these three softwares can be used for creating the e-content development. And now freeware is the thing that whenever the source is, software is free, right? But source code is not available. Source code is not available, software is free, but you will not get the source code of the software. Open source software is the thing that whenever the software is also free and you are also getting the source code so that you can modify into the software and that software can be reused by other persons. That is your open source software. For example, Linux software is one thing. Linux में क्या होता है that all the people whoever wants to just edit something or they want to add something in the software, they can, and automatically that software can be edited or updated, and the updated software can be used by many persons. Like this only it is going on, right? So that is your open source software. Proprietary software is the software that you have to buy it from it is a commercial software. So these are the three softwares. You can divide the tools into these three categories. Here I will tell you maximum of the open source software only which you can use, right? So as I have told that freeware tool, you can get the software free, but no source code is available. In open source software, you can get the source code as well as so that you can modify and reuse it. In proprietary software, we have to purchase the software from the company. It is a, that is a commercial software. So if I say the graphic tools, I will now tell one by one graphic tools, and some tools, it is not possible that all the tools I have to show here. Some tools I will try to show. And I will give some link also where you get the material for learning these tools, right? First of all, that is a graphic tool, that is your DrawPad, right? DrawPad is a software to draw the graphics as your Paint. Right, with Paint also you can draw the graphics, right? Similarly with DrawPad also you can, it is a graphics editor software. For any graphics composition and manipulation, this software is used. This is an open source, right? Mind it, all these softwares are open source, DrawPad. Now next is your Photoshop. Photoshop is not an open source software, it is a commercial software. This is an Adobe product, right? It is a very well accepted graphic editing software, very well accepted. It is used for drawing as well as the image editing. And main concept is there, that is a layer concept. That was not there in Paint, right? In Paint, whenever you want to modify any portion, you have to modify the whole graphics. But in Photoshop, this concept has been introduced, that is a layer concept, where roof one building, for example, you are creating or developing one design or graphic, right? So the roof of the building you can prepare in one layer, the building you can prepare in another layer, for example, the other portion of the building you can keep in the other layer, so that if you modify something in the roof, it will not edit or it will not change anything in your proper building, right? So this is the help of introducing this layer concept. And this is, since this is a commercial software, so the open source software also it has been developed, that I will tell you. Right? Another software is your MyPaint. This is also a graphic editor which is used for digital painting, right? It is not used for the designing of your graphic. It is used for the painting of the any digital painting. Next is your Inkscape. Inkscape is your used for the line art, right? Line graphics, right? This is known as a line art. So it is an open source software for drawing and editing. It is used in line art, right? Now, this is your GIMP. That is your GIMP. That software actually it is replacing the Photoshop in some extent, right? Photoshop is a very vast image editing software, and GIMP is also an image editing software, and it is a good alternative. I can say that open source software just cannot eliminate the customized or the commercial software, because it is commercial software are very strong. But anyway, for the academic purposes, for the research purposes and for the general purposes, the open source software are somewhat, they are they are taking place of this commercial software. So GIMP is a very good software. I will show you that our for one faculty, that is Mrs. Shanu Solanki, she has launched a MOOC on graphics and animation. Now also it is being rerun in SWAYAM platform. And in this graphics and animation MOOC course, she has she has given the video, she has created the videos on GIMP, right? I will give you the link of this software also, that the YouTube links also, so that you can just go there and you can learn and you can download on your own system, and then you can just carry on your work in GIMP. It is for animation as well as for the graphics image editing. Now another software is your Google SketchUp, right? This is also open source graphic editor for 3D image, and it is used for 3D modeling. Now I will show you about this Google SketchUp. Now I have opened it in my system. This Google SketchUp, when you can just go to Google and you can just write down that download Google SketchUp, right? It is a software of Trimble software. Of course, you can 30 days trial also you can give, or you can get it open source also. You can get it for the whole year also. That is not problem, right? So in Google SketchUp, this type of graphic or the that area you will get, and you can just delete it. For example, we are deleting it, and here you are seeing that there are three axes they are giving: x-axis, y-axis, and the z-axis. That's why it is telling that it is capable of creating the 3D modeling, right? And for example, just let me just tell you. Okay. So, for example, in the is it visible to you? This screen is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible to us.
Okay, okay. So this is your screen of Google SketchUp, and you see in the right hand side, it has been given materials, right? You can just click on it, and it will show you that which material you want to use. You want to for drawing, for example, a one house you are creating, one house model of an house, right? You are creating. So what type of bricks you can use? For example, let me draw a rectangle, right? I will just draw a rectangle, right? This is my one rectangle. And for example, again, I am drawing another rectangle, say like this, right? I have drawn one rectangle. Now I want that some type of bricks it will add, and I have to see that how this brick style is looking, right? I will just click on these materials, right? First of all, we'll click on these materials, and any type of brick style you can choose, and you can just click on it, and you can just see that, okay, it look like this. Okay, then let us see the another one, then it will look like this. So just like this, you can create your own model, right? And for example, we are deleting this, right? Let me delete this. right? So this is one rectangle I had drawn first of all, right? Now I have to give some thickness. How easy it is, you just see. We have one tool that is your push or pull, right? So if you click on it and if you just drag it, so it will be as a rectangle, right? For example, somewhat you want a hole in this position, you want a hole. So I will just write a circle. I will draw a circle. For example, I am drawing this circle, right? Afterwards, I will again give the thickness, but I will give it in the downward, right? What I will do, you will just click on it and right? I will just click on it. So I will just drag it in the downward direction so that it will just like will see that it is a hole. For example, you want to draw a just a hole, but it should be in the outside part. So what I will do, I will that again I will click on it and I will just draw like this, and it will be in the outside part, it will be extended. So just like this, it is very easy to draw any 3D modeling in case of this Google SketchUp. It's very useful. Or anytime if you want to design anything, you want to give anything, you want to give any type of material, not only the material, you can give the, any styles you can give, any components, you can just match any component. So whenever you will do this software, you will use this software, and one by one you will take the help and you can learn this software. And one thing very important in case of open source software is that whenever you are downloading any software, along with this you will get every time the material, right? Help manual, that is very much important. So for this open source software, it is very much useful that at any time if you download anything, that you can download the help manual, and with the just go through the help manual, then you will be able to learn that software very easily. So this is your Google SketchUp. I have just given you just a essence that how easy it is, right? Okay, next is your Krita. Krita is also a free and open source graphics editor, and it is designed primarily for digital painting and the animation purposes. And this is a software that we have drawn, just an example, we have drawn with the help of this Google SketchUp. Such type of cross-sectional area also you can show in Google SketchUp, which is very much useful in architecture, in civil or mechanical, right? Whenever you want to draw something and if you want to show something, cross-sectional area, it is possible in case of Google SketchUp, you can draw it, right? First of all, we had to draw in, we used to use this AutoCAD software, which is not so much easy, right? So that's why this Google SketchUp now it is taking place, so that if any architectural expert, they are using it, so they are able to use this Google SketchUp to develop some, approximate 3D model, right? Okay. Now another component, that is your audio editing software. So what we have learned in graphics software, we have learned that maximum people use this Photoshop, right, which is a commercial software. But in comparison to Photoshop, there is another software, open source software, that we are telling as your GIMP. And in addition to GIMP, there is another software that is known as your Google SketchUp. So I will show you, for example, there is an Excel file. I will just give it to Mrs. Amandeep or Dr. Sunil Dutt, so that you will get this file, and you can just directly, you can just click on the YouTube link and you can just see the videos, right? This is, for example, these are all the GIMP videos, right? This is for the MOOC course on graphics and animation. So these are all the, GIMP videos are there. And similarly, you can get here Google SketchUp videos link also, right? And finally, we have given the Blender that will come in the animation, right? So these are some video link that I will share with you, so that all the participants can just at any time, you can just click on it and you can just learn. You can download the software and automatically you will be able to learn that, right? Now coming to the audio editing software, because audio editing is also very much important whenever you will prepare any e-content, for example demonstration or simulation, right? You will do yourself, right? On your own laptop, on your own desktop. That times your audio editing software is very much important, because somewhere some noise is coming, some portion you want to delete, you have recorded your audio, but you are not liking it, you want to delete it, you want to edit some portion. So for that, audio editing software is very much needed. So first audio editing software is your WebPad. So this is an this is an editing software for audio and the music for Windows operating system also, and for the Mac operating system also. SoundForge. SoundForge is an commercial software. This is not open source, and it is used for this audio editing, and it is a very strong software, SoundForge, for audio editing, right? It is a very strong software. Okay, now the Audacity, that I have told that in comparison to the commercial software, every time this open source software has come. So in comparison to commercial software of SoundForge, we use this Audacity software, right? Audacity is your very useful, very easy and open source, right? You can just go to Google and you can download the Audacity software, and after that you can use it in a very useful way. You must have heard about this spoken tutorials that IIT Bombay has created, right? So those spoken tutorials have been created. They're the audio software. They have used this Audacity software, and for this screen recording, they have used this Cam Studio and Camtasia Studio, right? That I will tell you that what are the for the screen recording, what are the tools are required. So this Audacity software is for the audio editing. Now this also I will show you a small demo, but I don't know that whether I will be able to just let me just show you. After that I will show you that how this audio can be shared. I don't know, but anyway, so this is your Audacity software, right? I have already opened it. Here you can record something, you can give some effect in the sense some some voice you want to amplify, some voice you want to fade in. So all these portions can be useful here. So for example, that I'm just telling that if we can just record it, right? So I have to just click on it, and automatically you can just see that this voice it is recorded, right? Whatever I am telling, it is recorded. So I will just stop it, and it will just stop this recording. Now if I play, I'm sure that you will not be able to use it. Now Monica can help me. That Monica, how to use this?
मैम प्ले नहीं हुआ आपका ये?
If I play, is it audible?
No ma'am.
No, madam.
I just thought that it will not be, okay. So what is happening that when I give it play, then automatically my voice is playing.
ये कंप्यूटर साइंस की हेड है वहाँ पर, मैत्री है जिसका लेक्चर है।
Hello.
मैत्री है क्या है? मैत्री।
So I will just stop sharing, and then let me just share with the help of tab, whether it will be possible or not. Let me just see. So let me just share this one. So like this, if I record it and if I play, then automatically my voice will be played, right? And finally, for example, if you want to edit some portion, So we have to just click on it. We have to just select this portion. For example, I want to cut this portion, right? I will select it and I will go to edit and I will say cut. After that, if I again, if I just run it, so this way the portion will be, cut, and finally you can use this audio file. You can just save it and finally you can use it. Similarly, for example, there is an effect option is there. For example, you are just click on it and you can just go to effect, and you can see that so many effects are there. Echo, then is your fade in. For example, I'll just save an echo and I will say that delay time or something. For example, 2 I am giving, right? 2 seconds, it will be too much. That will be 1 second only. And finally, if I play again, you will just see in that portion only, it will be echo. Right? You must have heard about that, how the echo was sounding, right? Similarly, some portion you can select and you can say that fade in, right? The voice will be faded. Now, if I just let me increase the voice. Okay, you must have seen the differences in this fade in, fade out, the effects, the deleting. Similarly, you can just amplify also. This is your amplify, that how many in dB you will change. For example, I am giving it is an 1 dB, right? 1 dB or 0.5 dB something. You can just write, and if you say the okay, then automatically that implementation, that amplification will be done. So just like this, you can create your own own voice, and you can just modify the voice, and finally you can you can just save the file, and finally you can use this audio file in your e-content, right? So let me just
Madam, where is the option for noise reduction?
नॉइस रिडक्शन सर देखना पड़ेगा वहां पर. आप वहां पर मैंने अभी बंद कर दिया. मैं आपको क्लास के बाद जब फिर से खोल के आपको मैं चेक करवा दूंगी. ठीक है. Let me complete my topic, because actually there are so many things are there. So I was telling that Audacity software, that how this Audacity can be used for your sound as a sound editing software, and it is audio editing can be done in Windows operating system, in Mac operating system, Linux, GNU, and any other operating system. It is an open source, right? Okay, now it is coming to the video editing software. You all must be using video editing software very oftenly. You must be using any video editing software. You must be using maybe simple video cutter or any other software. Nowadays children are also very much they know that what type of video editing software are there, right? But officially or professionally, if I say, then I will tell some video editing software in this PowerPoint. So one is your Magisto software. Magisto is your one video editor that can help you to make your video in just a few steps. Upload your video. You can choose any editing style, any soundtrack, any title you can add, and you can use it into the social media. OpenShot. This is also free and simple to use, this open source video editor for Linux, right? It is user friendly software which everyone can use this and can get the great result. Another is your VideoPad. This is also powerful and easy to use video. Any editor you can use, any editor, right? video editor you can use, and then you can add the music, you can add the audio track. If you are recording the sound, you can delete the sound, you can mute your sound, anything you can do, right? And then you can capture from any camera also. It is possible. Webcam के साथ आप करिए, camcorder, DV camcorder के साथ करिए, कोई भी camera के साथ आप ले सकते हैं that video. Yes. So this is the software, that is your Final Cut Pro. This is a powerful tool and it is a professional tool. In our NITR Chandigarh, we have the studio, and here the editors are using this Final Cut Pro. This is a software used in Apple system, right? Mac system. And this Final Cut Pro is a very strong software, and it is a professional software. In any big studios, this software they are using. Of course, nowadays another software is also coming up, that is your Adobe Premiere. People are using this Adobe Premiere for this editing, this video editing software. Also, they are using the Sony Vegas, right? Vegas is also tool of video editing tool, that is a Sony product. So we say that Sony Vegas. So these are the various video editing tools or the software we are using in case of the e-content development. Of course, nowadays Blender is one open source software. People know it that Blender is an animation software, but Blender also can be used, for editing software. Editing software. So this Blender software is also very strong software. Otherwise, in video editing, any type of any video editing tool you can use. Now it is coming to the animation software. As you know, that Flash is a very strong animation software. It is an Adobe product. When you purchase the Adobe Suite, right? CS Suite, हम लोग बोलते हैं Adobe CS Suite. So that is a cloud software, and in this Adobe Suite, you will get the Flash, you will get Photoshop, you will get the Illustrator, you will get many other Adobe product, right? So Flash is an animation software. It is a commercial software. Adobe software is a commercial. You have to buy it. Okay, this Art of Illusion is an open source software. It is also used for animation as well as 3D modeling also. Art of Illusion also, it is open source software. It is also used as a 3D modeling and as well as for the animation. Yes, Blender is a perfect replacement of Flash, right? Flash software is used, as I have told, that it is used for animation, and Blender is a strong open source tool for creating animation, right? This is just an example I have shown, that how we have created one ball, right, with different material, structure, texture, and after that we have just moved it. And here also I will show you that Excel file which I will share with you. Here also you will get all the video links of Blender, right? These are all video links of Blender. So you will get all these videos. You can just check it and automatically you can just learn yourself, right? You can go to YouTube and you can just learn yourself. And you can, of course, the graphics and animation already we have given in MOOC's SIAM portal. So you can just register yourself and then you can carry on. Another thing I just want to, tell that from 31st January, me and Professor Patnaik, the director of the institute, we both have together, we have, launched one MOOC, that is your educational video production, right? How to create the video and how to, take care of the camera techniques, how to take care of the lighting techniques and all these editing software, right? For example, Adobe Premiere, for example, Blender, for example, Google SketchUp, this, this GIMP, this Blender, the animation as a Blender as an editing. So all these have been included in that MOOC. Now also it is open to all. So you all can register. It is in SIAM portal the name is your educational video production. So there you will get all these things. You can register yourself. Only 1 week has been passed. This is the second week is going on. The material will be available in the MOOC portal only, your portal. And finally, you will be able, after doing that, you will be able to get the certificate that if you give the examination, right? You have to appear for some quizzes, some 6 quiz I will give, 5 questions in one week. You have to, appear for the quizzes, and finally you have to appear for one exam. Then you will get the certificate from the SWAYAM portal. So that way, if you want to learn more and more, you can register in our course. Okay, now let me just go back again. Okay, so that was actually the Blender, the animation software, mainly what we use in e-content development, that is your Blender, right? Another is your authoring tools. What do you mean by authoring tools? Authoring tool is one which can integrate all this text material, animated material, video, then images, everything. So this is one software on one area where you can integrate all these materials, all this media, right? So, for example, EXE Learning, it is a free software tool which can be used this interactive web pages, web contents, right? So the authoring tools are the one which can integrate all these things, and it will create a web page for you, which will look like as your e-content, right? And these web pages include the text, images, activities, image galleries, or multimedia clips. Similarly, Zarte is also one free and open source authoring tool, which will provide the e-learning developers and content authors that how to create the interactive learning material, right? So this is also another software that is known as the Zarte. Adobe. In Adobe Suite, there is one software that is known as your Adobe Captivate. This is a very strong software, and it is a proprietary software. It is used for creating the e-content. And finally, what do you mean that here you can create your own quizzes? It can be more interactive, right? And the format that it will follow, that is your SW8 format, or otherwise HTML5 format. Nowadays, this DHTML is one part of this HTML5. HTML5 is also a very strong software, right? So for creating this, e-content. Another authoring tool, it is your GLO Maker. So this is it is an authoring tool for creating this interactive learning resources, and of course it is free for the educational use. And the teachers or any whoever is developer, they can use this, and the main use is that it is using the reusable learning objects, right? It will create the object, that was the name is your learning object. It will create the object, and each and everywhere you can reuse those learning objects again and again. You don't have to create the e-content again. LAMS is your learning activity management system. This is also an open source learning design system for designing, managing, delivering online collaborative learning, right? So this is also another type of authoring tools. Yes, Toolbook. This is a very strong software, and this is very user-friendly software. First of all, it was actually, NITER Chandigarh had bought the unlimited licenses, and we used to show those licenses, but now we have not taken it updated Toolbook software. So this Toolbook is basically, the name is a tool book. That means it is a tool for creating a book. That means whatever e-content you will be preparing, it will look like a book. In a book, there are some pages. So similarly here also, when you will start the Toolbook, it will just ask you that what are the number of pages. So number of pages, if you say that your book will be 200 pages or 250 pages, and in one page by page, it will ask you that what is the material, what is the text. If you want to give some, some list box, some combo box, some, radio buttons, some text box, whatever you want to create, you can create. You can create the quizzes, you can give it the marks of the quizzes, you can evaluate the quizzes, and automatically that after the evaluation, it will give the answers, and all these things it is possible with the help of the toolbook. And the main advantage is that whatever you will be creating with the toolbook, so that can be converted into the exe file, that anywhere you can take it and you can just run it, then automatically your material will be run. And for example, you are going to a classroom, then immediately you can tell your students that you participate in this quiz. That means the class also will be attentive, and your lecture will be interactive. So toolbook you can just download now and from Google, but of course now it has not been that 30 days trial only you can use. It has a commercial tool. It is not a free tool. It is a commercial tool. But you can use it for 30 days. You can just extend also. Okay, the other open source tools for e-content development that I have shown, one is your CamStudio, Camtasia Studio. As I have told that these are all screen recording, software that with which the you can record the screen, or you can just save it, then it can be converted into the exe file, then you can just show it to the post it into the website, right? And virtual dub, that is also for screen recording, and open broadcaster software, that is also used. AvoidMux is also used. Lightworks, iSpring, yes, iSpring is one software. It is connected with your PowerPoint, right? iSpring generally we use for quizzes as well as for other purposes also, right? And whenever you will download this iSpring, it will be connected with your PowerPoint. For example, whenever you download this mathematical editor, mathematical equation editor, then automatically it is connected with your Microsoft Word. Similarly, iSpring directly is connected to the Microsoft PowerPoint. So whenever you are creating the PowerPoint after your presentation, you can use this iSpring and can create the quiz environment. You can give the quizzes, and in the PowerPoint only it will run. It will show the quizzes. You can click on it. It can give the correct answer. It can give the. It will say that 5 are correct and 4 are wrong. So all these things you can just you can create your most interactive e-content with the help of this iSpring. OpenShot also there is, I have already told, this is also used for e-content or the authoring as an authoring tool. So these are some videos I have just given the link. These videos, in these videos, I have also created this tools for e-content and all these things. These videos are available in one MOOC that is of Dr. Sunil Dutt, Sir MOOCs, that is self-learning material development. There also one topic I have included, that is your e-content development. And these 3 videos are uploaded into the YouTube, so you can go there and you can see your videos. So about this MOOCs, I have also included, because since it is connected with the e-content, so I have just given 3. I will just tell you the 3-4 slides so that you can just get into it, that what do you mean by the MOOCs and what are the role of teachers and learners and all these things. So MOOC, as you say, that massive open online course, right? Massive in the sense that enrollment numbers are more. Open means no mandatory qualification, anyone can join. Online means it is fully online. Course means it is a structured course, right? So MOOCs are generally, we say 3 A's, right? Anytime, anyone, anywhere. So we can just say that basic philosophy is 3 A's. So the teachers and learners, what are the roles and responsibilities of teachers and learners? If I say, then in MOOC, you can create the content, you can create the course, you can define the course, you can start the course, you can assist the learners, and you can prepare your exam. So these are the roles of teacher. And if you say, and what are the responsibilities of learners? He or she can enroll the course, study the course, interact with teacher, their dashboards are there, questions are, you can ask as a question, and the teacher can see the question, can give the answer, can give the interactive time, so that we can directly interaction with the teacher. That is also possible, and you appear for the exam and get the certificate. So these are all the roles and responsibilities. Similarly, what is the facilitator work of this SIAM and this? Basically, the MOOC platform is by MHRD only, right? And the players, who are the players? Players are UGC, CC, IGNOU, NPTEL, NCERT, NIOS, and one player is NITTR. You are requested to kindly mute your mic, please. All the participants, please mute your mic. Okay, so these are all players. Players in the sense who are the owners of this, SIAM portal. Say UGC, CEC, IGNOU, NPTEL, NCERT, NIOS, and finally the NITTR, NITTR is also one of the players. NITTR Chennai is the national coordinator. They are the national coordinators of SIAM platform. So NITTR also is one of the player, and NITTR Chennai, among these 4 NITTRs, NITTR Chennai is the national coordinator. So these are different types of the quadrants approach we use in MOOCs. That is your e-tutorial, e-content, and web resources, self-assessment. These are the 4 quadrants we use. Similarly, you can just see in the quadrant 2, it will come as your e-content. Here will be your as a teacher, when you will the launch a course, right? This e-content part will come to you, because the recording part, video part, of course it will come, and the editing will be done by the editors. But e-content, as a teacher or as a owner, you have to own this and you have to create this. Now the question comes that how creatively you can create this e-content, right? That is one point. For this, you can use the different tools and different formats. So this is all about, these are the 4 quadrants, as I have told, that e-tutorial, e-content, web resources, and self-assessment. So first quadrant, second quadrant, which we are giving, that I have told, that is e-content, we can give as a PDF, we can give as an illustration, we can give as a demonstration, we can give simulation, everything we can give. And then the third quadrant, that is our web resources. There will be various links are there for the for reading purposes, that extra links, extra web resources, and finally quizzes or assignment can be given, right? So in your e-content also, you can give the quizzes or the assessment questions. That will be known as your self-assessment question, right? It will be known as a self-assessment question, not the self-assessment quizzes. That can be also named as this. But finally, this quizzes and that quizzes will be different in that you will get the marks in this quizzes or assignment, which will be counted in giving you the certificate. So up to this only I can conclude that I have given you the list of the tools that can be used for creating the e-content. It can be your graphics tool, it can be your animation tool, it can be your video editing tool, it can be your that audio editing tool. Anything can be used, and finally you can create your e-content. Now the session is open for questions.
Madam, is there any video recording software with unlimited
video recording, whatever I have told you, that Cam Studio and Camtasia Studio, that is your screen recording as well as video recording. You can just choose it that your video should come at the top or not. So that way you can just sitting at home also, you can record your video and then you can use it.